Greetings, dear beloveds. I don't know if we're live, but I'm just going to start enacting protocols. Call upon the lilac fire dragon, the earth and water dragon, the earth and fire dragon, flying speed dragon, golden orange dragon, Ezekiel, my two black dragons, black dragon from Saturn, alpha dragon, Organ, Michael, Gabriel, Sandalphon, Raphael, Mother Mary, Saint Germain, the Intergalactic Council, Galactic Federation of Light. And so, it is. So what I want to tell all of you is that we have to change the formula. We're ushering into a new state of consciousness. We're ushering into a kinetic energy, a more vibrant energy, a more movement, more growth, more expansion, more grace, more change. Things in the universe are going to change like you haven't seen before. Things in your life are going to change like you haven't seen before. You are going to change like you never have seen yourself before. And we are afraid to usher into the new state of consciousness. We're afraid to change. We're afraid to grow. We're afraid to expand. We're afraid to be all that we can be because it might scare some people. It might scare some people away. You might lose some people along the way. You might lose some fans along the way. But you have to do everything that you have to do in order to become the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom. The Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom does not stop for anybody. He does not stop for a pissy little comment. He doesn't stop. You don't stop. You keep going. You keep on trucking. You don't wait for anyone to tell you what you need to do. You already know what to do. You want to usher into the new energy, so work on yourself. Do your inner work. Find ideas, make ideas, create ideas. You are a creator. You are an infinite individuation of source, and there's endless possibilities. But the thing is, we let doubt creep in. We let our flesh creep in. We let our 3D self tell us and talk ourselves out of things that we can't have that we're not deserving of that. Am I not more worthy than the next guy? Well, that's a huge lie. You are always worthy. You have always been worthy since the dawning of mankind. But a lot of the times, the people that are most empowered in life, the most people that have a lot of grace on their life, are the peoples that did not feel empowered, that actually felt disempowered, that did not feel like they would make it, that did not feel like they were confident. Most empathic people are the most inspiring people. So who are you going to inspire today? What do you want to change? What do you want to see unfold in your life? What are the new chapters? What does it look like? Well, we have to start dreaming, because that's the one thing that we don't do in life, is that we don't dream. We let others dream for us. And you have to be the dream. You cannot be the nightmare. And please share out to 3 groups and make an appointment with me in Morningstar. This is White Wolf, and this is going to be a more in-depth message, because I want you to understand one thing. There's a lot of people that want to usher into the new energy. They want to usher into the new energy, but what do you need to do in order to usher into the new consciousness, the new age consciousness, the kinetic source energy that has a lot of mobility, that has a lot of stability, that is not stagnant, that refuses to be stagnant? So what do you have to do in order to be more? Are you doing your inner work? Are you living, breathing, eating spirit on a day-to-day basis? And it doesn't have to look like what I'm doing. You could be a business person. Make a new business. Find ideas. Find people that can help you become source in human form on a larger scale, because you cannot do it by yourself. The only way you have grace is to have a soul tree, to have a soul family. We're going to have people come in and out of our lives. We are going to build new relationships. And I'm not just talking about partnerships. I'm not talking about spiritual counterparts. I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about business partners. I'm talking about business endeavors. I'm talking about wealth, prosperity, change. Source energy is wealth, prosperity, and transformation. Intuitive guidance. We are angelic. We are not the angels, but by God, we are not the victim. We are not restricted. We just play into our stories a lot. We tell ourselves the same story. So how are you going to rewrite the story of you being source? Because we all have a dark book. We all have a book that was dark. It was dingy and disgusting and smells really bad. But now you have this eloquent, white, pure white light book that has golden pages in it. And they're wanting you to take all the knowledge that you've gained on your spiritual journey and put it in that book and start writing. It doesn't even have to be in chapters. You can just put prosperity on one page. You can put wealth on one page. You can put inner work on one page. But it doesn't matter, because we're making this humongous psychic metaphysical Bible that is based on us, that is based on the prophecy that has been set before us. We have this prophecy, this grace that is on our life, this metaphysical, intuitive, knowing connectedness of ourselves, that we are able to connect human beings. We're able to change their lives. We're able to activate something within them. But the one thing that holds us back sometimes is that we want to resonate from the same energy. And we cannot resonate from that same energy. If they want us to go higher, you're going to have to face your darkest truths. You're going to have to face yourself. You're going to have to face your demons, have your crucible, and then move on and usher into the new state of consciousness. But sometimes people think that they're going to have an appointment with someone and it's just going to instantly change. You think you're going to go to that retreat and it's instantaneously going to change. And then what do? And I've done this before, and I will be honest with you all. You've done this before. So you can have an appointment, you can have spiritual experiences, but if you're not living the spiritual experience in human form, in the 3D, and looking at it as a source of your own creation, if you're not dreaming, if you're not eating, if you're not living spirit like they want you to do, the things in your life are not going to manifest the way they want you to do it. You are a manifest powerhouse. You are able to manifest anything you desire. But the one thing is that we don't sometimes listen to those taps. And when we don't listen to those taps, it's like, maybe it could have went this direction, but I went that direction. I literally had energetic downloads at a Publix after I worked out, and they wanted me to buy lottery tickets, and then I bought those said lottery tickets, and I was going to leave, and they said, no, come back. You need to receive these downloads, and you need to scratch off these tickets right here, right now. When Source, when your guides, when your angels, when everything is in your corner, it will come to the point where you will follow those breadcrumb trails of excitement. You will follow those taps on the shoulders. You will follow those little whispers that they tell you that are little nuggets of gold, and you will scratch off a ticket and you will win. And it doesn't matter if it was $12. That $12 could have went to something. It doesn't matter if it was $50. That $50 could have bought you dinner that night. But it's the fact that we think the odds are stacked against us. We think the odds are too much to defy. And the odds are not too much to defy. We tell ourselves that they are too much, that this is too much. And what you really need to do is you need to tell Source, thank you. Thank you that I get to do this every day. Thank you that I get to meditate. Thank you for letting me go to Planet Fitness to exercise, to work on myself so I can lose some weight, because White Wolf used to be 185 and now he's 192, okay? I don't want to be 192, but I'm working on that. It's a steady process. It's a gradual process. It's not going to be built in one day. Your spiritual empire, your spiritual manifest powerhouse is not going to be built in one day, because Rome was not built in a day. So don't beat yourself up when you haven't got there yet, because it's every step that you take, all of the journey. It doesn't matter if it takes you 20 years. It doesn't matter if it takes you 30. Because one day you're going to become the person you are going to become. And it's never too late, because we don't fully become enlightened. But along the way, integrating all of the things that you need to integrate in this lifetime is the beauty. Is looking into the mirror and telling yourself that you are worthy, that you love yourself, that you're empowered, and that you are not a 3D'er, but you're a 6D'er, you're a 7D'er, you're a 12D'er. You're in the 12th dimension. You are like the Arcturians. You have that power. They're there to guide you. They're not there to make the decisions for you, but you have to make those big money decisions. And that's beautiful. The challenges are beautiful. The change is beautiful. The transformation of your soul is very, very beautiful. That's what the beauty is. It's not about making it big. It's not about having a bunch of money. It's not about being successful, but it's about how you gain your natural intelligence that you've had since the dawning of mankind. That's what the beauty is you finding your bliss. What bliss is speaking to you? What resonates with you? What is most authentic to express yourself? Maybe to express yourself is to get that Ford Raptor. And if you don't have it, visualize yourself in it. Put your hands on the steering wheel. Put your hands on the clutch if it has one. You know, feel the seats, feel the window, whatever it may be. I looked at a Ford Ranger that was golden and I put my hands on it and I said, that's mine. It may not be mine today, but someday it's going to be mine. Patience. Patience and willpower. Because it's not about how fast you run the race. It's about slow and steady. Because some of the best things happens when you take your time. Some of my best landscaping work at my old job was done taking my time. It wasn't rushing it. But a lot of the things in my life, I felt like I had to rush. And then when I would get in a rush, it would kind of restrict me. I didn't want to rush. I didn't want to grow up. But I wasn't looking for what inspired me. But spirituality inspires me. I thrive in spirituality. I feel empowered. I feel passionate. I feel more positive about myself. I feel there's a more aliveness. There's more spiritual mass within this vessel. We're a lot like Castiel off Supernatural, the hit show Supernatural. We are like Castiel. We're just a spiritual being in this human vessel. We are just the consciousness of which makes everything move and manifest and grow and change and just different growth spurts. And we're like a sprinkler head almost. And we're just shooting out balls of light to everybody. And as we keep sharing, we're truly caring about others. We're truly being of service to others. You sharing your heart and your soul to others will inspire them, and then the world will smile back at you. Because negativity and negative thoughts is the Satan of all thoughts. And Satan wears many disguises. The 3D self is the imposter self. It is the false self. It is the false narratives. It is the things that hold us back. It is our flesh, is being in the 3D. Just because we roam around the 3D does not mean that we're trying to change the 3D. We're just trying to help transform and better the collective as we go about this from people that resonate with us. There might be a person that watches me tonight or today, wherever you are at in the world. It doesn't matter. The energy is still the same. Someone might watch me and they don't like me and they don't resonate with my spirit and they don't maybe know what I'm doing right now. But that's fine. It's not for us to understand one another. It's understand ourselves. It's to explore ourselves. It's to, in times of observation, why does that trigger me? Why do I feel lack when I see this? Why do I feel unworthy? It's an analyzation of everything that makes us into a God. Not just a human. We might be a human, but we are God in human form. We are a God, and we are going to be among gods. This is the greatest time to be alive in this day and age. It's the greatest time to be alive. The new age in this day and age, the 90s didn't have nothing on this age. I'm sorry, it just didn't. It was cutting edge at the time, but that was stale energy. This is the new energy. This is the new consciousness. This is the new. There's children that are going to be born and they're going to shoot lightning out of their eyes. I don't even know why I'm saying that. But they are. They're going to be like Jupiter's Legacy, the show that I was watching. And Josh Duhamel's character had blue lightning shooting out of his eyes. We may not see that in 3D, some of you. I see stuff like that. But we have to have imagination to be dreamers. We are the dream walker. We're walking into this dream and we're escaping the nightmare. We used to live in a nightmare. It was a repeating, repetitive nightmare. It was just the same thing over and over, living Groundhog Day over and over. But we broke out of that ugly spider's nest and we broke out, and we're now an angel with wings and a sword and a shield, and we know who we are for the first time in our destiny, in our journey. We know ourselves, we understand ourselves, we accept ourselves. Probably the first times, and we're stepping into our authority. And not everything that comes out loving is from a place of love. People can kiss your ass, people can tell you what you want to hear all the time, but it doesn't mean that they are telling you what you need to hear. It doesn't mean that they're telling you how sincere they are. It is actually an insincere attempt at sincerity. It truly is. Because people are resonating from the same energy, and they're only going from a certain point, but you need to be up here. You need to up your frequency. What's going to keep me in alignment? Do I like caffeine? But it doesn't matter. What keeps you up at night? What keeps you thrilled? What keeps you psyched? What keeps you excited? What's going to drive you? What's going to get your motor running? Because some of us have something in the motor and it's not running very well. It's running good, but it can be running better than it should, because the vehicle of source deserves a lot of care, a lot of self-love, a lot of self-respect. And if you don't respect yourself, you do not respect others. Or some of you respect yourselves and then you don't have respect for others. You have to have a perfect balance of love and wisdom. You just have to. There's no other way around it. You have to have that perfect balance. You need balance. We all need balance. But sometimes we want the things that we want, but we're not doing it. We're not making the choices that we need to make. We're not doing the things that we need to do. And sometimes we're afraid. And sometimes we're fearful. Sometimes and the one thing is, I made a live feed about this a long time ago. To let go of worry. Because worry restricts you. It makes you feel like you're controlled by your thoughts. You're controlled by your emotions, your triggers, your anger. But none of them are the I am. Your brain is not the I am. Your heart, your body, this finite body is not the I am, but what the I am is consciousness. And consciousness never stays the same. Consciousness always changes. Consciousness always kind of migrates. It's kind of like birds. You know, birds migrate from the north to the north when it gets a little warmer there because it's not so hot, and then they go to the south. Or I could be wrong about that. If I am, I'm sorry. But I was trying to make an example. It's probably a terrible example, but you kind of get the point. Consciousness is always going to change, and it's not going to stop. The world's never going to end because the world is consciousness, and we're trying to figure out the illusion. We're trying to figure out the illusion here, and we're seeing through it. And what makes the world tick? What makes the world go? It is consciousness, because we are God to God, source to source. So if we are all sort of in alignment, if we're all shining together, the possibilities are just absolutely endless. The possibilities of us creating a world that is filled with love, that is being led by your heart, that is being led by desire, that's being led by empowerment, is a really beautiful thing, and the world is going to change. The world, it's been dark for too long, and the light is prevailing. The light's prevailing. That's what's happening because every corporation, the church, whatever it may be, Thomas Sawyer said this himself. You all know him. And because I was inspired a lot by him the other night with ideas and stuff like that. But the darkness is infiltrated. And now we're shining a light on the darkness and things are being exposed. And we're exposing all these things. That's why there's light workers. They're not going to understand you. They're not going to get the real you. They're not going to get you. They're not going to grasp you. The light workers are what's making things change. But the grace of God is not just on the light workers, it's on everybody. God's grace is on everyone. It doesn't matter if it's Joel Osteen. It doesn't matter if it's Master Co. It doesn't matter if it's Bentinho Massaro. The grace of God is on everything. God created everything for a reason. And if we create everything in our awareness, in our reality, then the only person that we have to look at is ourselves in the mirror. Because everything is a mirror back to us. And if you don't like it, then change it. I'm not saying say positive things and affirmations to yourself, because at some point we get over it. We get over our inner work. We get over ourselves, and then we finally get to a stopping point and we understand that this is my life. This is the grace that is on my life. And I am source in human form, so whatever I create, whatever I do, I am a winner. But you will learn more about your losses than your wins. Most sports players will tell you that they learn more from their losses than their wins. And sometimes in life, we're a sore loser. And when we are a sore loser, then we keep attracting losing. We keep attracting that sore loser mentality, the victim mentality, to us. And we keep playing into the false narratives, the story, and we fall back down and we keep our vibration down, and then we give into negativity, then the dark cloud comes in and it's like, shine some light on that dark cloud. Because trust me, I'm not the best at this. I'm not going to sit here and tell you all that I'm the most enlightened human being, because I've never met the most enlightened human being. And if they are, that means they're putting themselves on a pedestal. And once you put a ceiling on yourself, then you're not consciousness, because consciousness does not have a ceiling. I'm sorry. Consciousness does not have a ceiling on it. It's always changing. It's always integrating. It's always transforming. It's always understanding the intuitive knowingness, the inseparability of all things, of all that there is, of Source itself. And the only limitation to Source is itself, because the illusion is seeing that within. You have to see your lion's heart truly within. You have to see your lion's heart. And when some of us want to hear you roar, whoever is watching this, we want to hear your lion's roar. We want to hear your messages. It will resonate. Some people don't have to even say a word for something to resonate. We can use telepathy. Telepathy is truly a real thing. I've used it before. I've told a person what they needed to hear through my telepathy. We are truly powerful. We just don't know how powerful we are. And when we awaken, we're regaining our power again. We're regaining the natural understanding of the human being, the ET version of the human being, not the caveman version. That's the 3Ders. And I'm not throwing shade. I'm not beating people up. It sounds a lot like that when I say things, but I'm saying things through my higher self, because we're all a divine channel for the divine. We are just channeling our inner knowingness. Some of you are still channeling a lower vibration. Up the frequency. Flip the switch. Do what you need to do always. Because you've always been free. You have never been shackled. We make ourselves believe that we are shackled, that we're stuck, that we're controlled, that we're this little human being and we just suffer because we have a belief of lack. And you can't win against those beliefs because they are an illusion. They are not real. Every time we have an opinion about ourselves that doesn't line up with who we really are, we're just lying to ourselves. We're saying, oh, woe is me. Well, and it's like people making excuses on why they can't do things. People who have been incarcerated and totally just changed their lives. It's beautiful. You know, and people are like, oh, I'm too old. Oh, I can't do this because this happened to me. Oh, my daddy said this. My mommy said this to me. And I can't do that. You know, but that is being a victim. But we are not victims. God is not a victim. God is the Alpha and the Omega. And we're just becoming more of the higher self. The higher self is the oracle of love, light, and wisdom. And as you embody the higher self even more and become the higher self, then you are God. And you should not question yourself. There's no second guessing. There's a single pointedness about you. There's no doubt. There's no assumptions. And once we disassociate from being a human being, the rest becomes very easy. But a lot of times we're emptying ourselves out, clearing ourselves and purifying ourselves to the best of our capabilities. So we're getting into this new power. Some of us are afraid. Some of us feel lost. Some of us need guidance. But you are not alone. You have never been alone, even when you weren't attuned to your spiritual abilities. You have never been alone, and God Source Energy is not going to leave you. Your guides, your higher self, are not going to leave you at the bus stop by yourself. You are not alone, and you are infinitely loved, and you are infinitely abundant, and you're true, and you're raw, and you're authentic, and you have a purpose, you have a journey. You have a calling. And when you have a calling on your life, you're driven by something and you are convicted. And when you are convicted, you are just a master. You are just the alchemist. You make magic appear out of thin air. When you are truly convicted by something, rather it's a relationship, rather it's a friendship, rather it's a business endeavor, when you are just convicted and you're driven by something, roll the dice, see where it lands, and see how your life can change in the matter of 2 minutes, in 24 hours, in a week, in 2 weeks, in a month, in a year, in 10 years, in 20 years. It's not a race. We're just carrying the baton and setting the example for people and allowing them to grab the baton and so that they can start running with it. Because we're not just in it for ourselves. I don't do this for my health. I do this for me, but I want to help people. I'm taking time out of my day to offer kindness, to offer generosity, to offer love. And I'm not saying that in an egotistical sense. I'm saying that from a point of conviction. A lot of my live feeds are for me. That's what the messed up thing is. We're almost talking to ourselves. But thinking is talking to yourself. Thinking is truly talking to yourself, because you'll think yourself out of something. It's messed up game. This is not the mind. This is not the mind. The heart, I would tell you, is the closest to being the human mind. I would say that's the first brain. We always think of this thing. This thing clouds our judgment. This thing gets us in trouble. This thing allows us to let false narratives come in, when we just should realize that we are just consciousness. And if you're just coming into the feed, please share to 3 groups. Please feel free to donate and make an appointment with me in Morningstar. It's $79.99 for an hour appointment. I do healings. She's a master intuitive. You won't regret it. But I feel like, I think you guys grok this. I think you guys understand it. I think you guys in a lot of ways can make observations, analyze it when you're having moments of contemplation, when you're by yourself meditating. But I want to take this time out because I want to do some healing. So please accept the healing. I don't want to make this healing against your own free will. And I want you to really get into a calm state. I want you to get to a state of peace, a state of bliss, a state of ecstasy, and become Mr. and Mrs. Ecstasy in this moment. And I just want you guys to understand that the grace of God is on your life, and you are loved, and you are cherished, and you are not alone. So I'm going to do some light language. Please share out to all the groups. Feel free to donate. This is White Wolf. Make an appointment with me in Morningstar. And I'm doing Stupa Mudra energy. It's what the Buddhists use. Oshitema aya hani hi shandoya amikanakaya ati mahaya ashipemataya shiti pamataya anihiya haya anikena goya shipi pamataya ashi ima aya ati kema goya shipi pama aya ati ima shoya anihina haya ashipemataya Shiti Pamahaya, Otikemakoya, Ashipemataya, Shikana, Shipita, Shitotoya Daya Aya, Otipema Oya, Ashipemakaya, Shiti Pamataya, Oshipemataya, Otikemakaya. Ho. You will feel your body temperature rising as this healing is continuing. But I just want you to say to yourself that I am amazing. I am a winner. I am all that I am. I am the light. The light I am. Everything I touch turns to gold. Everything that I try to do, I succeed. I manifest things out of thin air. I manifest things by thought. I am source in human form, and I am the oracle of love, light, and wisdom. And I'm here for the healing of planet Earth and the ascension and the evolution of consciousness. But just let go of being a human. Just let go of worry. Let go of stagnation. Let go of all the things that hold you back. And just keep letting go. And just let go. And just be. Just be. Just be love. And love yourself in this moment. Very profoundly love yourself. Because when you love yourself, you finally find peace. You finally find bliss. And you're more at ease. And everything just flows naturally as it should. I enjoyed the time that we spent here together today. But when I snap my fingers and you come back too, you will become the oracle of love, light, and wisdom that is source in human form, that is an individuation of creation. And we all are putting together the puzzle of this big masterpiece that we call our universe. And we're here to activate something in someone today. You never know when you offer kindness, what it might do for another human being. Just a smile. Help them lift something. Help them do something. Extend your hand of grace and be of service to others. And just know that there's so many blessings along the way that'll make you stop dead in your tracks and just appreciate the beauty of this whole expansive journey that is here, ever present, that never ends. We're not trying to change the world, but we're helping people change their inner infinite reality so that we can become absolute. There's aqua river flow energy coming through. But take a couple more deep breaths. I just would like to explain to all of you that it's a fair energy exchange, and it takes a lot of a person to just do the work, and just to live, eat, breathe spirit sometimes is hard. But I just want you guys to know that you are not alone, and that you are loved, and that you are special, and that there's people that love you. And it may not be your friends and family. I'm talking about your soul family. Your soul family is waiting for you. But if you need help, just ask and believe, and you shall receive. But don't forget to share out. Feel free to make an appointment. I got a very special guest, is Bailey. Hey, baby boy. Hi. Anyways, please share out to all of the groups, and feel free to donate. Make an appointment with me and Morningstar. And this is White Wolf signing off, and so it is. And I have much love for all of you. And like the page, go to our Instagram page, I_M_movement, all lowercase. Go to our Facebook page, I Am Movement, or if you already are on it. And we are on TikTok. We're on BitChute as well. Same thing, I Am Movement. And we have videos there. And if you guys have any platforms to let us know about, please let us know. Without further ado, I'm going to end this broadcast. But thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a blessed day.